Welcome to Space Discovery with a new, interesting episode. The story is about Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa is often seen as an icon of humility and selfless dedication to humanity. However, many didn't know she silently suffered for decades, all while maintaining her smile. Just before her death, she revealed some shocking secrets. What you are about to hear will give you chills. Stay with us as we explore Mother Teresa's heartbreaking struggles and revelations that have shaken the world. Mother Teresa, also known as Saint Teresa of Calcutta, was a Catholic nun and missionary who devoted her life to helping the poorest of the poor in India. In 1950, she founded the Missionaries of Charity, a religious congregation that cared for the sick, hungry, homeless, and dying. She and her sisters established orphanages, hospices, and clinics, providing compassionate care worldwide, including in India, Africa, and America. Her life was marked by charity, love, compassion, self-denial, altruism, and deep devotion to God. She gave up marriage and all forms of recognition, including the monetary rewards from the Nobel Peace Prize she won in 1979, which she directed to the Missionaries of Charity's orphanages and homes for the elderly. But was Mother Teresa's life perfect? A woman of her global impact was perceived as flawless, yet like many virtuous people, she faced challenges that caused doubt about her faith and work. After her death, her writings revealed a more complex picture. What were these shocking revelations? Keep watching. Mother Teresa experienced the dark night of the soul, a period of severe inner struggle, doubt, and feelings of spiritual emptiness. This concept, often associated with Saint John of the Cross, describes a profound spiritual desolation. Even Saint Francis of Assisi, known for his deep love of nature and God, faced similar struggles. Although historical records don't detail his experiences, it's believed he endured spiritual desolation, feeling abandoned and doubtful, yet emerging with a deeper understanding of God's love. Similarly, Mother Teresa's dark night of the soul involved decades of feeling spiritually empty and doubtful while continuing her humanitarian work. Her perseverance through this profound spiritual trial made her an enduring symbol of faith and resilience. This period lasted for decades and was marked by internal struggles, hopelessness, and desolation as she questioned God's existence and the meaning of her faith. Her private letters and conversations with confessors later revealed these inner turmoils. Mother Teresa passed away on September 5, 1997. Since then, new information about her interior life has emerged, surprising many who knew her. Despite her external radiance, her inner world was filled with seeming emptiness and darkness. She once wrote, "If I ever become a saint, I will surely be one of darkness." This darkness wasn't depression or despair but a shadow cast by the overwhelming light of God's presence, felt as a devastating absence. On May 17, 1964, she described her soul state to be, in love and yet not to love, to live by faith and yet not to believe, to spend myself and yet be in total darkness. Earlier, on February 28, 1957, she wrote about her soul's contradictions, expressing a painful longing for God but feeling repulsed and empty. Besides these revelations about her dark night, another secret emerged after her death. Despite her immense practical kindness, Mother Teresa also received mystical visions. Before starting her work in the slums, Jesus vividly asked her to change her life and establish a new religious society. "I want Indian nuns, missionaries of charity, who would be my fire of love amongst the poor, the sick, the dying, and the little children," she wrote. In 1946, she noted, "In all my prayers and holy communions, he is continually asking, 'Wilt thou refuse?'" Frightened by what was asked of her, she felt unworthy and weak, but Jesus reassured her, "You are, I know, the most incapable person, weak and sinful, but just because you are that, I want to use you for my glory. Wilt thou refuse?" Mother Teresa felt profound emptiness and loneliness during her darkest moments, even as she cared for the poor and sick. She described feeling like she was living in darkness and that God was distant. Despite these struggles, she persisted, working tirelessly with relentless trust in God's plan. She often remarked that God wanted to use nothing for his work, reflecting on her sense of unworthiness. In her private writings, she questioned if her strong faith deceived people, as she felt coldness and darkness inside despite bringing light and joy to others. On November 8, 1961, she wrote, "I don't know what is happening to me." Earlier that year, she expressed her life's contradictions, praying not to deceive anyone. Mother Teresa approached God with deep poverty of spirit but trusted his love profoundly. Despite trials and darkness, she remained his little one, his spouse, and his beloved. In a beautiful meditation written during a serious illness in June 1983, she expressed her love for Jesus, giving him all, even her sins. Mother Teresa's dark night of the soul shows the depth of her faith and willingness to endure suffering for others. It reminds us that even the most devoted individuals can face doubt and spiritual crisis. Her perseverance, faith, and trust in God's mysterious ways, despite profound suffering, exemplify her strength and commitment to her calling. Still, some people found flaws in her life. Despite her immense love for God, why was she emotionally and psychologically tortured with endless controversial claims? Controversies about Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was one of the most influential women of the 20th century. She was a small woman but had a commanding presence. She was a global icon whose humanitarian work reached from Asia to America and Africa. But was she really that perfect? Did she genuinely care for the people she served? Let's find out. Dr. Jack Prager, a British doctor, started treating the poor for free in 1972. He was moved by Mother Teresa's work, as shown in a BBC documentary, and decided to work with her. However, he soon discovered that her reputation might not be entirely true. Dr. Prager noted that Mother Teresa's ashram lacked proper medical care. Patients had shaved heads, no chairs, and only stretcher beds like those from the First World War. There was no garden or yard, and 40 to 60 men and women were cramped in one room. Injected needles were reused, and painkillers were not available, even for those in severe pain. Dr. Prager once smuggled morphine to help a woman with terrible burns, since there were no painkillers. Despite receiving millions of dollars in donations, Mother Teresa did not provide modern medical care. One 15-year-old boy with a simple kidney complaint did not receive antibiotics, leading to an unnecessary operation. When Dr. Prager suggested taking him to a hospital, Mother Teresa refused, saying that if they helped one person, they would have to help everyone. This boy, who could have survived with a simple operation, was left to suffer. Despite receiving medical supplies as donations, Mother Teresa never used them, claiming, "We are not a medical order." Her mission was characterized by pain and suffering, perhaps influenced by her spiritual struggles. Mary Johnson, who worked with Mother Teresa for 20 years, left and wrote about her experiences. She described the hard lives of the nuns, who lived in poverty, begged for money, and were given only 2 sets of traditional Indian saris. They were not allowed to take daily baths, go out alone, watch TV, read newspapers, or even meet their families. These claims from people who worked with Mother Teresa bring up many questions. How did she handle these endless controversies? Could any of these claims be true? Keep watching to find out. As the years passed, Mother Teresa began to see her spiritual struggles differently. She concluded that it was a crucial part of her vocation as a missionary of charity. As a teenager in Skopje, she wanted to help the poor. When she became a missionary nun, she spent Sundays in the slums helping the poor. After receiving her call within a call, she dedicated her life to helping the poor, the sick, the lonely, and the dying. Mother Teresa believed that Christ asked her to serve. She saw her suffering as sharing in the suffering of Christ. She remembered her oath from 1942 to never refuse God anything. This meant accepting whatever God gave and giving whatever He took away. For Teresa, this meant accepting the burden of Christ's passion. She eventually saw her inner poverty as sharing in Christ's suffering. She loved the darkness because it was a small part of Jesus' darkness and pain on earth. Despite her intense focus on her mission, Mother Teresa was known for her sense of humor. She enjoyed the joy and laughter of young women who joined her congregation. She often found humor in various situations and shared lighthearted moments with friends and colleagues. One story she shared in Rome at the Dono di Maria convent was about a dream she had. In this dream, she found herself at the gates of paradise, but St. Peter blocked her way, saying there were no slums in heaven. She angrily told him that she would return and fill heaven with people from the slums. This humorous story shows her dedication to the poor, even in her dreams. Legacy of Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa's legacy is profound and enduring. She inspired countless people worldwide to help those in need. She ministered to people living in extreme poverty, providing food, shelter, medical care, and love. She believed that everyone deserved dignity and respect, and she worked tirelessly to alleviate their suffering. Her work went beyond physical care to include spiritual nourishment. She believed the greatest poverty was not material deprivation, but spiritual emptiness and loneliness. She emphasized the importance of love, forgiveness, and humility in building a compassionate world. Mother Teresa also advocated for peace and justice globally. As a Nobel Peace Prize laureate, she spoke against war, violence, and injustice, calling for reconciliation among nations and religions. She believed true peace could only be achieved through love and compassion. Her legacy continues through the missionaries of charity, serving the poor in over 130 countries. The organization runs homes for the sick, disabled, elderly, and homeless, as well as orphanages, schools, and soup kitchens. Her example has inspired many to volunteer their time and resources to help those in need, creating a ripple effect of kindness and generosity. Mother Teresa passed away on September 5, 1997, but her legacy remains a beacon of hope and compassion. She reminded us that even the smallest acts of kindness can make a significant difference in others' lives. Her legacy challenges us to look beyond ourselves and reach out to the most vulnerable, embodying the true spirit of service and love. Canonization of Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was canonized on September 4, 2016, marking the recognition of her extraordinary life of service and devotion to the poor. Born Agnes Gonksa Bojaxiou in Skopje, Macedonia, in 1910, she felt a calling to serve others from a young age. At 18, she joined the Loreto Sisters and traveled to India, where she became known as Sister Teresa. Her journey to sainthood began with her tireless work in the slums of Kolkata, India, where she founded the Missionaries of Charity in 1950. The organization focused on helping the poorest of the poor, including the sick, orphaned, and dying. Her selfless dedication earned her international recognition and numerous awards, including the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979. Despite her fame, Mother Teresa remained humble and focused on her mission. She believed in doing small things with great love, inspiring many to follow her example. The Catholic Church carefully examined her life, writings, and works to ensure she met the criteria for sainthood. 2 miracles were recognized: the healing of a tumor in an Indian woman and the healing of a Brazilian man with multiple brain abscesses. On September 4, 2016, Pope Francis declared Mother Teresa a saint in a solemn ceremony at the Vatican. Her canonization was celebrated by people of all faiths who admired her commitment to serving the poor. Saint Teresa of Kolkata, as she is now known, continues to inspire millions with her example of love, compassion, and selflessness. Her legacy challenges us to work for a better world through acts of kindness and generosity. Even in her final years, she endured physical suffering but remained dedicated to her mission. Her life serves as a reminder of the power of faith, service, and humility. By recognizing her as a saint, the Catholic Church honored her legacy and provided a shining example for future generations to follow. Thanks for watching. Keep watching Space Discovery for more interesting videos. Also, like and subscribe to our channel. This will be a gift from us to new people. Have a good day.